Time for an apocalyptic adventure as I earn 100% in Fallout New Vegas, journeying across the Mojave, making friends and enemies as I go. I have played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, but I never owned New Vegas until now. After hearing so many good things about this cult classic, I had to finally get my hands on it thanks to good old PC game sales. It didn't cost me too many bottle caps either. The base game has 50 achievements to earn, and there's so much to do. 4 different endings with 4 different factions, which can take a very long time if you don't manage your save files well. Some tedious achievements thrown in the mix, such as healing 10,000 hit points with just food. You need to gamble your life away at all the casinos at the New Vegas Strip until you get kicked out for winning so much, and there's the rarest achievement of all for winning 30 hands of a card game called Caravan. I think many people must have found this frustrating. It took me a while, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you need to complete the game from start to finish in hardcore mode as well. So that's having to stay hydrated, sleep, and manage your inventory because ammunition has weight in hardcore, so you can easily become over-encumbered. I really did love this game, and it rekindled my love for the series, so expect more Fallout content, especially if you guys liked this video. So let's boogie on down to the Mojave to explore the wasteland and grab those achievements. You play as a courier that gets caught up in a huge mess, in fact, more than a mess, because we end up being shot in the face and buried by a fancy dressed man named Benny. And somehow we survive. Benny must be a terrible shot. A friendly robot named Victor digs us up and delivers us to Doc Mitchell in the town of Goodsprings. All standard RPG elements apply. I tell the doc my name, make sure that my mullet and mustache are in check after my dirt nap, then I rummage around and steal supplies from the doctor to thank him for saving my life. I can then get some early skill points and traits. In hindsight, I had no idea what I was doing here, but it worked out in the end. Lockpicking, science, and speech came in handy the most during my journeys. The doc sorted me out and even gave me a Pip-Boy for free. What a day to be alive again. I was then presented with the option for hardcore mode. This had to be turned on during my first playthrough, but it was a fun way to play the game. So I'm actually really glad this was an achievement, or I would never have experienced the game this way. I could turn it off again once I had the achievement as well. For completing this introduction to the game, I was awarded my first achievement. Ain't that a kick in the head?
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Well, actually, it was a bullet. Stepping outside to touch sand blinded me because I'd been sleeping for days in Doc Mitchell's bed, so I took a while to readjust my vision and check out my new Pip-Boy. It features a Mojave web browser, my favourite websites, and Doc even installed some of my favourite movies. I explored Goodsprings for a while, said thanks to Victor for digging me up, and had a small altercation with the local wildlife. The only frustrating thing I experienced were the constant crashes. Almost every time I entered a building, or in fact, even breathed wrong, the game would crash. I installed a mod to enable the game to use more RAM, and that fixed my issue. So if you have the same problem, that's probably your answer. I mingled with the locals for a while and caught up on all the local gossip. Then I was approached by a man named Malcolm, and he told me about the special bottle caps on certain Sunset Sarsaparilla bottles. If you collect 50 of these caps, you can complete a quest later on which has an achievement tied to it. Then I hung out with Ringo for a while and played some Caravan. I wasn't going to let him rest until I had at least won 3 games against him for that achievement. I helped out the town by fighting off a group called the Powder Gangers, turning their leader into powder with my laser pistol. Then I had a look at what I could craft and very easily picked up another achievement by breaking down a bunch of ammunition to its raw materials. I said my goodbyes to the people of Goodsprings and made my way down the road to Prim. I met the NCR here and tried my best to help them out. I cleared out loads of escaped convicts that were holed up in Prim, and not long after, I hit the road again on my quest to find Benny, and perhaps repay him with a bullet in his head this time. I came across a small town that was occupied by the Legion, which is led by Caesar, or Kaiser as the Legion call him. Almost everyone in this town had been crucified by them. The Legion are basically the big bad of this game, but it does depend on your point of view. Every faction has their own motivations. After leaving this doomed town, I lost a leg to a random landmine, then I had to fight to the death with a rad scorpion, and it ended in a draw. My next objective was to go to the town of Novak, famous for its giant dinosaur. I was attacked by the Viper gang on the way, and I couldn't help but laugh as they blew each other up right before I blew them up. I finally made it to Novak and happened to bump into my friend and saviour, Victor, whilst he made his own journey to New Vegas to see Mr. House.
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit if it ain't my old friend from Goodsprings.
I met this gentleman named Cliff, and I've got to say his animations are hilarious. He seemed to have a mosquito problem, and I even caught him digging for gold rolled up his nose and flicking his booger when he thought I wasn't looking. I challenged Cliff to a few games of Caravan to progress towards the achievement, and after a while he got really salty because I beat him, so I needed to find someone else to play cards with. Now was a good time to go on a new quest. I battled my way through feral ghouls so that I could reach the ones that hadn't lost their minds. I met a man named Chris who thought he was a ghoul, and then met the leader of this little group, a glowing ghoul named Jason Bright. He sent me to kill some Nightkin, and he wanted me to send him and his ghoul compadres to space in rockets. I begrudgingly skulked down into the basement and took out the Nightkin. They're types of super mutant that use stealth boys to cloak themselves. Whilst down here I ran into Harland, a ghoul who does a really good Batman impression.
Hey, you're not one of those things out there.
I just wanted to help him out, but when I walked upstairs he started shooting at me, so I had no choice but to fire lasers at his face until his head popped off. It was time to reorganize the old inventory after that and repair my weapons. Doing so gave me the achievement for repairing items 30 times. All of the ghouls had gathered at the rockets and were ready to go where no ghoul has gone before. All I had to do was hit the big red button and they'd be on their merry way. One of those rockets definitely didn't make it, but my job was still completed, and for finishing that quest I was awarded the achievement, Come Fly With Me.
Let's fly away.
I then headed back to Novak to scale the giant dinosaur and meet Boone, a guard with a sniper rifle that works the night shift here. My guy is getting in that overtime. It was my job to help Boone unravel the mystery surrounding the sudden disappearance of his wife. But whilst looking for clues and interrogating the locals, I found this lovely dude that was kind enough to play Caravan with me as many times as I wanted. 30 Caravan wins incoming. You can tell I was glad to get this achievement out of the way. I even did a little celebration dance. I went back to helping Boone, and I had enough evidence that pointed at Jeannie May being responsible for the wrongdoings to do with Boone's wife. All I had to do now was lure her in front of Boone's sniper nest and then put on his beret to signal him. Then I just had to wait for the magic to happen. I am not cleaning that mess up. After gaining Boone's trust, I could recruit him as my first of 8 companions, which earned me the achievement, Oh Buddy Ol' Pal. My next stop was Boulder City, and I was tasked with helping the NCR defuse a situation with the Great Khans. The Great Khan leader here was Jessup, a man that witnessed my death, and he sure was surprised to see me walking about. I convinced the Khans to stand down and release their hostages, and also gained new information on Benny's whereabouts. This main story progression earned me the They Went That Away achievement. The experience from this quest also pushed me over the level 10 threshold for another Chivo. It was time now to make my way to the New Vegas Strip to hunt down Benny, and I decided to discover as many locations as I could on the way there. Who knew that these lake lugs could kill me so quickly by blowing bubbles? I also checked out my first vault. It's not Fallout with a bit of vault diving. This one was full of giant bugs and I was almost blown up by a rigged terminal. I blame AI. During all these adventures, I managed to discover my 50th location in the Mojave, awarding me with achievement number 10. I journeyed towards Freeside, which is the area that you need to go through to reach the New Vegas Strip. These grimy streets are where I met Mick and Ralph and purchased some naughty nightwear from them to increase my luck at the casinos. And I discovered a new group called the Kings. Their boss, the King, surely must have been an Elvis impersonator before the bombs went off. I was also welcomed by his dog, Rex, a companion I'll be gaining later. I had purchased a dodgy passport from Mick and Ralph earlier, so security let me straight through, and once again I encountered my buddy Victor. He works for Mr. House, so it was about time I got acquainted and met the man in question. He's only displayed by a face on a screen, and he's keen to acquire my aid. One of the endings is for siding with him too. But for now, it's time to let loose and enjoy what New Vegas has to offer. My main goal here though was to play every game at the casino because each one offers an achievement.
A little bit of roll, a little bit of rock, ooh, a little bit of roll, a little bit of rock, a little bit of roll, itty bitty little bit of rock and roll. We went to a dance, she was looking swell, spinning around.
Woo, it's good to let loose. I finally caught up with Benny and he was surprised to see me, to say the least. He seems like a decent guy just fulfilling orders, and he invited me for a friendly chat to see if I could be swayed from the idea of killing him. But of course he stabs me in the back and sends his bodyguards into the room to kill me, and they beat the living daylights out of me in the bathroom. But now I knew what to expect and I wasn't having any of it. The casino takes away all your weapons, but I picked this lock and found myself a grenade rifle. They're not taking me down this time. Benny expected and assumed I was dead, so now I can sneak into his room unawares, and for snooping around in the other rooms I picked up the achievement for picking 25 locks. In Benny's room, I came across a robot called Yes Man, repurposed by Benny to be extremely helpful, if not too helpful, because he helps me. One of the endings requires you to follow Yes Man's questline, so this was a really important milestone now. I could start to decide which ending I would go with first. For reaching Yes Man though, I finished the Ring-a-Ding-Ding questline for its achievement. Now I was pretty free to do what I wanted, and I slowly progressed my save files toward different endings. I started to finish the quests that awarded achievements too, starting with the GI Blues quest that the king has to offer. This is also progress towards gaining Rex as a companion. Next I travelled to Jacobstown and discovered it was full of super mutants and Nightkin. One of the Nightkin named Lily was a potential companion later. Speaking of which, I fixed up EDE back in Prim, and that gave me 3 out of 8 companions on this save file. I made a save at a point where I could end the game with either Yes Man or the Legion. I'd have to go back to a way earlier save for the NCR ending because they hate you once you side with the Legion. My next task was to visit the Boomers and recruit them for the cause, and then they would help me during the final mission by carpet bombing the Hoover Dam. Reaching them could be an issue though, they're called Boomers for a reason. I had to help the Boomers and complete their quests to earn their trust first. One of these quests involved fixing loads of solar panels, and little did I know at the time this quest would actually give me an achievement too.
Oh shit.
I fast travelled back to Goodsprings so I could grab a new stock of stim packs and other supplies, and I ended up getting the achievement for making 10,000 caps from sales. My final quest for the Boomers was pretty cool. It involved floating a sunken plane to the surface of a lake. This one got me to the reputation I needed to progress with the story, and when I handed in the quest, I received an achievement. The next achievement was a fun one. I took a quest from Tommy Tarini, and he needed me to find people that could perform different acts in his show. Once everyone had gathered together, I was awarded my achievement. I also received a really cool weapon from one of the musicians I had summoned. The Legion wanted me to destroy a Brotherhood of Steel bunker with everyone inside it. I could have stolen keycards and accessed the terminal to blow up the bunker, but I was pretty stupid on this first playthrough and waited until I had 100 science to hack it instead. So in the meantime, I explored another vault, and I picked up an achievement whilst burning flower enemies. Whoa! Woohoo! Oh damn, 10,000 damage of energy weapons. Burning these flower boys. I then got another of these 10,000 achievements right after for doing damage with guns. Oh, 10,000 damage with guns as well. Oh my god, hello. Gotcha. Next, I discovered the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, where I could start the important quest for collecting the 50-star bottle caps. Whilst in the headquarters, I shot a robot in the face to hit level 20, which I was awarded for. Using this cool new weapon I found in the wasteland, I punished a gang member for sneaking up on me. Whoa. Bye. I then finally recruited Lily as a companion and tried taking on a Deathclaw, to no avail. Then it was time to progress towards my first ending a little bit more. I took down Mr. House and replaced him with Yes Man. This earned me the Wildcard achievement.
All you have to do is destroy the
Now I had chosen to side with Yes Man, it was time to partake in the Battle of Hoover Dam for the first of many times. The goal for Yes Man is to install him in the system beneath the dam, and with help from his Securitrons, make my way through multiple factions towards the Legion's leader, Lanius, and murder him. He's actually really tough if you aren't prepared. The first time this took me a while because I kept running out of ammo, and some weapons were very ineffective against this badass brute. After many attempts, I finally melted him with the help of some ammo management and a lot of drugs pumped into my system. The NCR General blasts his way into the camp to try and claim the glory. During our riveting conversation, I got the achievement for 50 speech checks.
This has been a fuck of a day.
Yes Man was having none of General Oliver's bullshit, and he froze him off the dam, which is hilarious. I then earned the achievement for the Yes Man ending and got that beautiful achievement for completing the game on hardcore. Next, I discovered 125 locations in the Mojave, and because everyone hated me on this save file anyway, I punched loads of the NCR and Securitrons so I could get 10,000 damage dealt with unarmed weapons. My next goal was to deal 10,000 explosive damage, so I wandered the wasteland for things to blow up, but I found myself blowing up instead. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? I took out my frustrations on some Deathclaws and murdered the beast with dynamite. Then I progressed with more endings and had to assassinate the president. During this mission, I finally got my explosive achievement. 10,000 damage of explosives. Let's go. I had to go back and redo this mission anyway, so I could just take out the president in style this time. Boom! What a way to assassinate the president. Following this, I decided to head on back to the casinos to make some money. I was going for an achievement for being kicked out of every casino. You just had to earn loads of money until they start getting pissed off. My go-to method was blackjack, and this achievement alone took me 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, that's that.
Get banned from all the Strip's casinos. Whew, only took me like 2.5 hours. Then I woke up chat and spent my earnings in his shop. Wakey wakey! This one, Magnum, and Silver. Yes! Installed 20 weapon mods. Beautiful. A pain in the ass, but I hacked 25 terminals for my next achievement. I found myself an extremely overpowered melee weapon which carried me through the game, and with it I easily earned the achievement for dealing 10,000 melee damage against these horrible bugs. Oh, New Vegas Samurai though. Oh, 10,000 damage from melee weapons. Oh, I hate these poison bastards. Okay, I'm running. I've got my achievement. If I die, it's fine. Hey-ya! After collecting them for the entirety of the game, I finally had enough star bottle caps to complete the Sunset Sarsaparilla quest, rewarding me with tons of caps, a decent weapon, and of course, an achievement. The next achievement I actively went for was for pickpocketing 50 times. Surprisingly, this is almost as rare an achievement as the 30 games of Caravan. You can just go to Vault 21 and keep stealing infinite bubblegum from Sarah. Next, I was reliving many people's nightmares and constantly drowning. I did this simply to lose health so I could just heal with stim packs for an achievement. Yes! Yeah, yes, Stimply amazing. Stimply the best. Heal 10,000 hit points with stim packs. Then I did exactly the same thing, but with food this time. And this took a lot longer because I had to gather all the food. I was going around killing cows a lot. Yes! Yes! Heal 10,000 points of damage with food. Oh, that's all the 10,000 challenges completed. Then I went to see Lanius from his side this time, and I acknowledged that I wanted to start the Battle of Hoover Dam with the Legion, and was awarded a simple achievement for that questline. And I killed 2 birds with 1 stone here because whilst at the dam I gathered the last snow globe collectible. There's only a few of these scattered around the map. After blasting my way through Hoover Dam with the Legion, I finally came face to face with General Oliver, and just like I did with the President, I blew him and his soldiers to smithereens. Whee! Once I left this area, Lanius was waiting for me, and that's where the Legion playthrough ended for the achievement. I screwed up though. I was so close to hitting level 30 for that achievement, but I finished the game. So I went back to a save, did Hoover Dam again, but this time just farmed some extra enemies for XP. Finally, level 30. My next task was to complete the game with the NCR, and during this playthrough I could finally get all 8 companions. One of them was missable before because the NCR hated me. I completed as many quests from the NCR as I could and then focused on the main ones that awarded the achievements. I found myself helping the iconic NCR Rangers, which is where I picked up the Return to Sender achievement. I recruited a companion called Veronica. All I had to do was talk to her, not even a quest. But the next companion was tough to get. Raoul was held captive by a Nightkin called Tabitha. I wanted to save Tabitha from myself by fixing her robot, but I didn't have the required skill points on this NCR playthrough, so I had to kill her. But at least I could then rescue Raoul the Ghoul for my achievement. I was a little bit worried there. Oh, the whole gang's here. Recruit all companions. Yes! Okay, now I just need NCR ending and Mr. House ending, and I'm done. Now, I thought the NCR were always the good guys, but they can be some cold-hearted bastards. The king refused to listen to the demands of the NCR, and they just absolutely annihilated him without question. And the Khan leader wouldn't listen to me either. I tried to spare him the NCR's wrath, but as their messenger, this had to be done. Instead of blasting the president to the moon with a missile launcher, this time I had to save his life. I had to defuse a bomb that this mechanic puts on his vertibird, then I informed Ranger Grant to evacuate the president, and I had to shoot down a disguised sniper that just yeets the NCR's own guy out of the tower. I escorted the president back to his vertibird and watched him fly over the hills and far away until my achievement popped. Then I reported back to the NCR's ruthless colonel and confirmed that I wanted to side with the NCR at the Battle of Hoover Dam. This choice popped an achievement. Facing Lanius again was easy. Not only could I spend my skill points more efficiently this time, but I had this seriously overpowered weapon from earlier. It's called Oh Baby, in case you were wondering. With Lanius dead, again, I got the NCR ending achievement.
Fine bit of work back there.
Now it was time for Mr. House's ending. I had to go back quite a few hours of gameplay, but I had still got myself ahead of the curve from my NCR save file. I still needed to blow up the Brotherhood, again, save the President from this sniper, again, piss off the NCR by overriding a substation, and then finally return to Mr. House with the good news. Then I committed to fight for Mr. House at the Hoover Dam. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Hoover Dam with Mr. House is pretty much the same as doing it for Yes Man. You need to go inside the dam and install an override, and everything leads once again to Lanius, who was now so easy to beat for me. I even scared him into running away, so I had to whip out the old grenade rifle to take him down. As usual, the NCR come blasting their way in once the action has finished, but Mr. House and his Securitrons are right behind them. Mr. House does not piss about. Him and his army absolutely demolish the NCR, and that leads to my final achievement of the base game. Woo! Thank you for watching, guys, and an extra thank you to the NC Collective. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. I'm so glad to have done this game on the channel. See you in the next one.